NMIMS School of Business Management welcome the class of 2026. Class of 2026, today is an extraordinary day in your lives. Welcome to your school, your campus, and your home for the next 2 years. You'll be here 24/7 pretty much. Congratulations to you for making it to the School of Business Management, henceforth referred to as SBM. Give yourself a big pat on the back and thank all those who helped you reach this moment in time. Your parents, teachers, siblings, peers, and friends. We are just as excited to meet you as you are to embark on this transformative journey of learning. We realize that your road here has been tough and demanding. But you will find that all that hard work was worth it as you meet a diverse set of intelligent peers, learned faculty, and experienced industry professionals. You have secured a place in a leading management school in the country, and this privilege comes with enormous responsibilities. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. We will demand a lot from you: hard work, humility, openness, and generosity. And we know that you will deliver all of that and more as you get absorbed in the unique experiential learning program that has been designed for you. Over the course of this week, you will attend many workshops, seminars, lectures, and so on, thoughtfully curated as part of your induction program. Most of it you will retain, some of it you might forget. But irrespective, this induction week will make your transition to the classroom smoother. Before we continue with the proceedings, I invite you to watch a video clip on safety and security arrangements for today's ceremony. I request our support team to play the video.
Safety video for NMIMS Mukesh Patel Auditorium.
Hello everybody, I am Pramanand Angre, Fire and Safety Officer for SVKM NMIMS. I am here to guide you on Mukesh Patel Auditorium safety exits.
There are a total of 8 doors and 6 exits. Both middle exits will take you to the same outer area. At all times, on each exit, safety personnel and ushers are always there to guide you in case of an emergency. Your safety is our responsibility. Do not panic. Stay calm. Do not run. Follow the given instructions. It is not safe to wander on your own. Now, let's get out from each exit. For audiences sitting in the front or middle, you have exits on your right and left. A total of 4 doors. Choose comfortably. Once you are out from your left, take left and walk straight till the end. Cross the passage. Take another left. You will come to an area where you will find stairs and escalators. For people coming from the right exit, once you are out, you too will come to the same area. In case, due to safety reasons, if escalators are shut down, then use them as stairs, and from both right and left, you will come up to this common area, which is the way out. For people at the back, take the nearest door to you, come out, take left, cross the passage, take left. You will come directly to the common area. Likewise, for dignitaries and performing participants or people on or backstage, they also have 2 exits. you are facing the audience, then at your right, this is the exit. Move out, take right, walk straight, and take the stairs. Similarly, from your left, come out and take the same stairs to go out. You are safely out from all exits. At NMIMS, safety is our biggest priority. So you will see signage, fire extinguishers, open spaces, and proper adequate exits for your convenience.
I hope this video has helped you to understand the emergency exits. Thank you and be safe.
Thank you for paying attention to that security briefing. We now have the pleasure to have on stage our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, and our Dean of the School of Business Management and Provost, Management Studies, Dr. Justin Paul. And now, it is with great pleasure that I invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramesh Bhatt, a distinguished figure in academia and university management, to give his opening remarks and share some valuable insights. The dais is yours, sir.
Well, Dr. Justin Paul, Dean and Provost, Management Education, our campus directors joining us live streaming, Dr. Narayani Ramachandran, Bangalore, Dr. Koteshwar Rao, Hyderabad, Dr. Subhashish Bhattacharya, Navi Mumbai, Dr. Anshuman Jaiswal from Indore, our associate deans, Dr. Chandrima Sikdar, Dr. Veena Vora, Dr. Mayank Joshipura, faculty colleagues, and very, very dear students. Good morning to all of you. I welcome all of you, and you are the proud students joining the batch 2024-26. And congratulations on making it to the SBM MBA program at NMIMS University. Well, I think this calls for a big applause as you have achieved this grand success in your life. I know you have been through a very highly competitive selection process. All of us at NMIMS and at the university, and of course your parents, take pride in your achievements and making it to be part of the SBM MBA program of NMIMS University. Well, you should be proud that you are now a part of 4-decade-old legacy of the SBM, which has been at the forefront of providing management education to develop leadership skills in a forward-thinking and fast-changing business environment. We take great pride in being part of SVKM Trust. If you see the logo, it says SVKM's NMIMS University. So we are part of the SVKM Trust, which is our parent institution, renowned for its exceptional contribution to the higher education. The trust was started in 1931, and since then they have contributed in significant manner to the higher education in India, and NMIMS is the part of the trust. And this remarkable reputation and brand which we have created has been forged through the visionary leadership of our Honorable Chancellor, Shri Amrishbhai Patel. Well, if you look at the SVKM, which stands for the Shri Vile Parle Kelwani Mandal, we need to really look at that, what this Kelwani stands for. Now, the Kelwani in the SVKM means to impart, develop, and nurture the students by focusing on their physical, intellectual, ethical, and philosophical approaches to life. The NMIMS logo, which you see, has some visual figures there, which really represents our university's vision, values, brand, and identity. If you closely look at this logo, you see 4 elements which give some indication what are our inherent qualities and what is our vision. You see a shape of elephant in the logo, which is the largest land mammal admired for wisdom, knowledge, strength, and loyalty. Then you see some blank bands which represent, in some sense, the books, that is the knowledge which we impart, we develop, we nurture our students at the university. And the red quadrant is the really reflection of the kind of an passion which we do the things at NMIMS University. And then at the lower side, you see laurel wreath, which really shows the accolades and achievements which we have received, gained over last 40 years. Now, if I may say that you, in some sense, are a proud entrant to a program that aims to develop transformational leaders for an inclusive and sustainable world. And I also believe that it is no time like the present one to sharpen your transformative skills. At the SBM, we see our roles as shaping your skills and competencies that can lead organization in an indeterminate world. The current environment is characterized by VUCA and global turbulence. The word which you will see very frequently, VUCA, which is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. This in real sense calls for transformational leadership to prevail at all levels of the organization. I may also say that you are also a proud entrant to the SBM, which follows the principles of assurance of learning. We have an assurance of learning system about which you will come to know in a major way when you go through your orientation and when you go through the education programs. This assurance of learning represents the highest standards of achievement for business schools worldwide, making our school set itself apart, focus on a high level of quality, and which also gives us a lot of global recognition. You are also part of the university and the school, which is NAAC accredited A+, and the recognition of Tier 1 university, a graded autonomy recognition and status granted to only 29 universities out of 1,040 universities in India. You are also proud entrant to the school, which has been ranked 83rd position in the Financial Times ranking in the category of Masters in Management program. This is very significant for us, and it really indicates the kind of an learning experience of our alumni, because the ranking, FT ranking, is based on the recognition and the independent survey done with the alumni who passed 3 years back. So it in real sense has given us a very good feeling of our school being recognized for great learning experience, particularly in the career progression of our students. We rank 21st in the world, and overall satisfaction of the alumni who passed out 3 years back is 8.83 on a scale of 10. So I think the amount of accolades and the recognitions, whether it is through the ranking process or through the accreditation process we have received, tells us a remarkable story of our achievements and our importance of the learning ecosystem at the NMIMS University. You will be also part of the school that has a very innovative and successful civic engagement. We call it a We Care program, which also received international recognition from the AACSCB, which is the Innovations That Inspire Award in 2023. Well, joining the school, I may tell you some ways and the strategies I think you need to really put in practice so that you emerge as one of the remarkable leaders out of this program in 2 years' time. Well, first I think we focus on developing the skills and proficiencies which will give you kind of an edge and developing innovative ideas to solve the problems. So it is really kind of an problem solving, developing your problem solving skills. Of course, in these times, you cannot develop these skills unless you are also armed with lot of technology orientation, particularly in this age of Gen AI and the way the technology is shaping the industries. But at the same time, I think technology is one very important aspect of our growth and development, but it is also ability, developing the competencies and abilities which help you to understand the importance of being adaptable, agile, and who has the ability to influence and motivate through logical reasoning and perhaps the storytelling. In some sense, this is a very tall order when you, I think, try to dissect these competencies. It is not an easy and maybe easy to go kind of an agenda for our learning. It is certainly an ambitious one, and it will pose you a lot of challenges in the process when you are developing these competencies and these skills. And this will require patient tracking of what you do on day-to-day basis. It will require a constant monitoring of your learnings, which is going to happen over a period of time. Certainly, we are going to be there to help you with the knowledge which you can acquire through the classroom discussions, through the discussions with the peers, and from the various sources. But how do you convert the knowledge in skills? I think it will depend on your positive attitudes. See, what do we do with the knowledge when we try to convert that knowledge into the skills? It requires a great deal of very positive skills, positive attitudes, and also I must mention the habits that nurture those competencies. I think skills and the competencies do not come easily unless you have a positive attitude to nurture the knowledge and convert that into the skill, and also at the same time work on your habits so that it becomes lifelong kind of an learning experience. And in this process, there will be no shortcuts, I can tell you at the outset. And therefore, you have an immense responsibility to make sure that you prepare yourselves to handle many of the complex problems which will be posed to you in your classroom situation, where you will be experienced with a lot of complex formulations and complex business situations. And then professors will push you to think how to move forward in terms of developing the strategies to handle the kind of an environment which we face today, that is the VUCA world. But you may ask the question, how do I do this? If this is a big, tall order, and if the Vice Chancellor of the university is telling me that this is not an easy process, how do I do it? Right? Now, of course, this is an important question, and how question is always tricky as it deals with what is your strategy, how you are going to move forward. Well, I am sure that when you start your orientation and you start your classes, you will get a lot of help in terms of articulating this how question. And there may be a lot of suggestions coming to you today, tomorrow, and over next 10 days on this how question. But I must tell you that if you do not customize that how question at your end, it is going to be the complete waste, because it will be just listening to some sermon, and the moment you go out of the room, you forget everything, what was told to you. And that is, I think, the kind of an experience many students have when they do that. Therefore, it is an important responsibility for you to customize to your style of learning, to your style of understanding, to your style of how do you do the things. So this how question is something very critical, and therefore I can help you to articulate this and give you some suggestions how do you customize it. But my first, I think, simple question would be to all of you, which I think you would have pondered when you took the decision to join the MBA program. What is my mission in doing MBA? Or if you have not through, perhaps you can now reflect on what should be my mission of doing an MBA. I think unless you have the great clarity of that mission, and I think last year when I was talking to the incoming students, and I had paused very briefly and asked them that, what do you think is the mission of joining the MBA? And some hands came up, and one of the answers was that to get the placement. Now the question is that, is the placement my mission? If you deeply ponder on this and start looking at that carefully, I think it will give you a little bit of approach and answers to this question that what do we do when, because I think what you need to do, what you will do during the next 2 years depends on what is the mission you have developed for yourself. And it is only that mission which will keep you focused. And I think when you, I think, try to look at the mission, I can just give you some clue. You can, in the meanwhile, keep on thinking and keep on reflecting with yourself that what is my mission when I am doing the MBA. I can give you just some clues. Like the professions, first of all, you have to think that is the management a profession or not. Like medicine is a profession, architecture is a profession, accounting is a profession. So need to think through that. What is the mission of some of the these programs or fields which I have just mentioned? Like say, for example, to help you to develop and articulate your mission for doing MBA, if I say that if I go to, let us say, medical school and I just ask a student, what is your mission? Often you will get an answer that I want to create a healthy and healthier societies. That can be one of the articulations of the mission. And then obviously the student has to then articulate how am I going to make sure that I'm going to create the healthier societies, what I need to do, what kind of skills, competencies I need to develop. Now, same way, if you go to the law school and you ask them what is your mission, they will say maybe deliver justice, strengthen justice in the country, protect the rights, and create the just societies. This could be the mission of the professional who has joined, let us say, 5-year law program. And if you go to School of Architecture, let us say, and you ask the student that, okay, what is your mission? Now, this student may tell you that my mission is to make sure that whatever buildings are created, they are safe and they are quality built environment. Create the quality built environment. And if you go to the accounting school, you ask what is your mission, he may say that my mission is to make sure that assets of all the organizations, assets of all the companies are safeguarded. Something like stewardship role. But when you go to the business school student and you ask what is your mission, what do you tell? Because that will define that what you are supposed to do over the next 2 years. That will define how you will be prepared, and that will also create a benchmarks for you to see that am I really working towards that mission, what I have set for myself. It will also define how and in what areas you will be trained when you spend 2 years here. It will also define what will you be educated for. So think about it. Because that is, I think, going to be something very critical. What I'm going to tell you a little bit about this mission itself, that if I was a student of management sitting in your place, and if somebody asked me that what is your mission of doing the MBA program, like I asked this question to an accounting student, architecture student, law student, and student of medicine. So in management, you will be trained to create value. And it will be the kind of your programs and your training and your nurturing will be helping you to develop that positive power of value creation. Now, what is this value creation? Which means that management as a profession is nothing but how do you bring the people and the resources together to perhaps look at the unfulfilled needs and create the structures, systems, processes which help meeting those needs of the society, right? Now, if you look at carefully that even putting up a structure in place is an act of value creation, because if you have not created a good structure in place, that how people will interact with each other in the organization, how will they take the decisions, who will report to whom, what will be the kind of an reporting framework and reporting structure, the organization may not achieve that purpose for which it has been set. So as a management professional, you come into picture to help the organizations to create that structure. Similarly, there are a whole lot of processes. So you come and try to fix up those processes in such a way that it creates the value. So that is going to be the role of the managers when they enter into the industry. So if that is the kind of a role which I am going to get, so what should be my mission? My mission when I am joining this program should be to gain a lot of learning, understand a lot of dynamics in the situations, interact with the people, take support and help of the technology, so that I am in position to develop and nurture the positive power of value creation, but with integrity. So that becomes the kind of a mission statement for me when I am in MBA program. And you are going to have the program and education and training towards every time creating the value. So whenever you are looking at some problem, you are looking some situation, try to figure out that in what manner if I solve this problem, it is going to create the value. I think that skill becomes something very critical, and it must be nurtured, it must be developed, and there is no shortcut in that process. It is a hard work for all of us. So in that process at this school, you will go through a series of exercises to examine a problem and find out how to fix it. You will be looking at a system that perhaps is not functioning well and you need to improve it. You will be forced also to look into the needs of the unfulfilled demand in a particular given situation. So the management is all about how do you bring the people together, and you bring those people along with the resources to create systems, to create processes, and create the structures, and find out the ways and channels that will create the value. So the value creation becomes the most important focus of all what we do. And in that process, as I mentioned, that companies, strategies, structures, systems, skills, people, culture, and shared values, they all come together to help you to create that value. So remember that mission is not the money. Money will always come if you understand deeply the people, processes, and technology. And I call it the PPT of management: people, processes, and technology. It is the decoding these important processes and particularly the behavior of the people, that will lead to the maximum productivity, of course, using the technology. And that is this understanding and the decoding of these processes will make you an effective leader. But this will happen, this kind of an development of competency will happen only if you are open to learning. And in practice, I think this learning is something very difficult, and our SBM curriculum is precisely designed around this mission, and the curriculum will help you to navigate this journey which I just outlined. And the school is going to provide you a lot of opportunities to learn and equip you to handle varied challenges. And how you play with this fusion and how do you train yourself in this process is something very important. So as I mentioned that in this process, you have on the one side the knowledge which you are going to acquire over a period of time of next 2 years. I think a lot of knowledge will come to your way, a lot of frameworks, and many of you may already be familiar with some of those important frameworks, right? Like the BCG framework or competition analysis framework and so on and so forth. So that is the knowledge part of it. But over the last several years I have been in education, I always find many times the students, even after doing the 2-year program, they face a lot of difficulty applying that framework in the real life practice, or articulate a particular real life situation within a particular framework which you have perhaps studied. Now that is where I think this attitude will play a very important role. And it is only what you do with the knowledge, what you do with these frameworks which are available to you, and how do you convert that knowledge into the skills will depend on your attitude. So what you do with that knowledge depends on you and only you. So therefore, we also at SBM, you will hear this term very frequently, KASH, cash. It is not CASH, cash. It is KASH. Knowledge, attitudes, skills, and habits, right? So you have to put the things together, and this in fact really works in some kind of a multiplicative manner, that cash multiplied by attitudes, multiplied by skills, multiplied by habits gives you the effectiveness with which you can create the value. So your value creation effectiveness is really dependent on how do you create a good mix of cash. And if any one of them is 0, then you know that the outcome is going to be 0. I will not get into the details of this, what is skills, what are attitudes, or what are habits. But I think I will just underline 2 very important points, which in my experience are very critical. One is the determination, what you try to do with a lot of determination, it has to be done. And second, I would like to emphasize that whatever you do, whatever you pursue, it has to be done with a lot of rigor in your approach. You cannot just remain at the surface level. I think you have to bring a lot of rigor, lot of depth in whatever you are going to do. And how the school is going to do it? There will be a experiential learning sessions. We have a most popular method of experiential learning, which is the case method, and you will be trained on that. And I'm sure that SBM faculty will ensure that when you are in the program, you understand the dynamics, how the things work, and how to create excellence, how to create value, and also how to be socially and ethically responsible, whatever you are doing and whatever you plan to do. Our curriculum is designed to provide an excellent learning opportunity through a very good feedback system, and it will also provide you with a lot of hands-on experience. And as I mentioned, that it is completely based on assurance of learning process. I think the school will help you to create a lot of opportunities and lot of opportunities of interaction with the industry. But I think what you do with that depends on you, that how you are going to really integrate that learning in your curriculum and your processes of learning. Well, I would just like to, having emphasized this, the mission of what you try to do, it is focus on the value creation with integrity, and then focusing on the 4 important aspects of this learning process: cash, which is knowledge, attitudes, skills, and habits. And 2 important underlying factors of the high level of determination and habit of pursuing with lot of rigor and with lot of depthness. Now, we also see the emergence of the technology, particularly Gen AI. And I think in several initiatives which were started in the Gen AI domain in the past few years are coming to fructification at a very great speed. And we have now ChatGPT 4.0 moving towards the ChatGPT 5. At the same time, we have a whole lot of providers who are helping us to give the Gen AI portals and the tools which will help us to reason, solve problems, think, comprehend complete ideas. If we want to learn something quickly, we can learn, particularly on knowledge side. I think these are very significant changes what are happening, and as you also might have seen and also would have experienced, that there is going to be significant impact of all these changes on the businesses. Well, I think we are very positive about the Gen AI tools, but I would just put up a word of caution. I think it is very important to understand that these tools are still in a very primitive stages, and therefore we need to be cautious in terms of using them and adopting them without careful scrutiny and without critical analysis. So therefore, at this stage, I will just make one important statement that we believe, and NMIMS promotes the responsible and ethical use of the Gen AI technologies. What are these ethical ways and what are the responsible ways of using these technologies? I think pay attention to whenever your courses will start, the professors in the program will tell you that what is acceptable in that course about the use of the Gen AI. But I must also caution you that as we also have gained some experience in terms of using these technologies, and there is a lot of debate and discussion happening across the world, and the concept of the co-intelligence, which is, I think, getting established, that we have to work with the machines. I think you cannot delegate everything to the machines. I think that is where I think you have as a student to be cautious that not to delegate something 100% to the Gen AI tools, but make sure that you are using the intelligence of the machines along with your intelligence to create something. And I think in this process, never forget that the people in the technology are going to play a very critical role, right? It is the people and the machines which are going to create the kind of an fusion which I think will help us to move forward. But if we start delegating, like as a student, if I start delegating everything to the ChatGPT, tell the ChatGPT to write this report, to analyze this financial statement, to prepare this PowerPoint presentation, I think you will never be in position to develop your competencies and skills because you have already delegated everything to the machines, which is possible. But I think it is very important that I think you adopt the route of co-creation, co-intelligence, and work with the machines to get the feedback what you are getting, which I think in the classes when you discuss, professors will give you the lot of feedback on whether you are doing this thing right or not, or you are creating this important, is it correct or not. And the way I think the feedback is received, we need to use these technologies in this manner. I'm also reminded of a very interesting scene in the movie called Top Gun Maverick, which was recently released. I think many of you would have seen this Top Gun Maverick. Towards the end of the movie, when this Tom Cruise gets stuck behind the enemy lines, and all he has on hand is to escape in this old F-14 Tomcat, which was made in 80s. And he was fighting against the 5th generation enemy aircrafts. And I think Maverick just told himself and to his colleague who was sitting there that I think against this 5th generation enemy aircrafts, I think we are finished. But the co-pilot who was sitting with him told Maverick, in fact reminded him, that pilots make all the differences even in inferior machines. And the sentence which he said that, Maverick, it is not the plane, it is the pilot. And then with the same machine, I think the extraordinary effort which he made and delivered one heck of action-packed counterattack to those enemies and successfully came out of that enemy lines. So I think always remember that when it comes to the use of the technology, be that pilot always and be that maverick always. Because it is the person who is using that, he makes the lot of difference. So having told you about your mission, your approach of maximizing the cash and use of the technology, responsible and ethical use of the technology, many times you will ask the question that, are there any shortcuts? And I think right the day you will start, you will find yourself in the grill and then you start looking at the shortcuts. And is there any hack you can make your way out, but at the same time come out with this positive power of value creation. Let me tell you that there will be no shortcuts available. And in the shortcuts, I think two things are very critical for us, which are something non-negotiable, which many times I think you will adopt those shortcuts. So I'm just mentioning it in my address primarily to reflect on that. Tomorrow you should not end up in some kind of an challenge or some kind of a situation where you lose your membership in the program. So first is that ensure that you maintain 100% attendance in the classes. I always, when the students have not met this condition and they come to me, one question I ask them that when you abstained from the classes, did you inform the program manager and the program? And I think invariably I get the answer that they have not informed. So I think this habit is something very important that which I think you know that if when you join a corporate, you cannot afford to remain absent without informing your immediate bosses. So make sure that whenever you are taking leave, you inform the school. You should not be without the information. And we maintain that it should be 100% attendance in the classes. We have some leeway for like your academic activities or placement activities or student activities. We give you some concession there. But even in those situations, after accounting for that, the attendance must not go below 80%. Second non-negotiable thing, which again is a kind of a shortcut which many students use, using unfair means in your exams and assignments. SBM has always assured that NMIMS University remains zero unfair means university. This is something very critical to our brand. It is very critical to our reputation, which we have earned for long number of years. Anytime you are found using the unfair means, either in your assignments, using ChatGPT without the permission of the professors, or even in exams using some unfair means, it will be dealt very seriously. And regarding the Gen AI tools, please seek your advice from each professor of your course, whether he is allowing you to use the Gen AI tools to complete your assignments and complete your projects. I will say that we have no tolerance policy on these two counts, and I'm sure that you will understand this is part of our brand value proposition. And you will not do anything that impacts the brand and impacts your chances of working with the Fortune 500 companies. I must say that we are committed to meeting your learning aspirations. So be with us with the mission that you will become the best value creator in times to come and turn out to be the best leader by doing the good work. And sometimes the students always ask me that what is some steps they can follow to excel in their mission. So there are 3-4 things I would like to tell you that whenever you come to the class, come always prepared for that class. Like make it a habit that when you go to the company's board meeting, you will not go unprepared in that meeting. Treat every class is like your board meeting. Go with preparedness. And from my experience of 40 years in education, I must tell you that if you go prepared with the class, at least having spent, let's say, 30 minutes on reflecting what is going to happen in that session, what is going to be discussed, what are going to be the concepts which are going to be covered, the learning improves by 30 to 40%. This is the study which has been done by many people around the globe. So preparation for the class is something very critical to improve your learning and to work on your mission. See guys, I'm telling you that these 2 years are a kind of a lifetime opportunity you have got. And in India, there are, I think, 45 million children who want this kind of an education. They are not able to get it. You are the very few privileged who have been selected in this kind of a program, and make best use of this opportunity at this point in time. So make sure that treat every class when you go like you are going and attending the board meeting of your company, where you are a board of director, and you will not dare to go to the board meeting without preparation. Make sure that whenever you go to the class, you go with the preparation. That is something must for you. Second way to strengthen your learning is that work in teams and groups. I think that when you work in the teams and groups, it helps you not only to improve the interpersonal communication. And I tell you that NMIMS SBM students are rated best on interpersonal communication in the industry today. Whenever I go and talk to the recruiters and visit the companies, they tell me the most important quality of the student is the interpersonal communication. So make use of this opportunity, working in the groups, working in the teams, because the teams help you to get more creative. Because when you hear the ideas from the team members, and then you start wondering that why this idea did not come to my mind. And that's how is that the creativity starts happening. Then you start thinking that I must also come up with some new ideas. Treat this group work, teamwork in a very positive manner that one, you are going to improve your interpersonal skills because these are the opportunities we create for you. And second, when you interact in the team, start observing that why the other people are able to bring a lot of interesting ideas on table, which will help them to be more creative. So that is, I think, the second point. Third is every time, whatever you do, reflect on what you are doing. Of course, one skill which I ask everyone at the end of the first term, when they complete their first term, the skill they have learned, they will tell me that they have learned the time management skill. But master it and understand what time management means. And I think in the process also try to develop the habit of becoming the self-directed learner. And of course, keep all the distractions, mobile phones, Netflix, net away from you unless you are using it for your education purpose. I think during the foundation program, the schools will help you to navigate through these various strategies and how to do it. So pay attention and try to understand the finer points of it so that it helps you. So at the end, I will just say that welcome to the world of SBM, the bliss of learning, the paradise of cash, and nurturing the positive power of value creation with integrity. When I meet some of my students, I have been in teaching for 40 years now, started my teaching in 1979. When I meet my students who have graduated 20, 25 years back, and I often ask them the question, if they have not become the CEOs or they are not on the board, I ask them this question that, how come you are still vice president or president or general manager and you have not become the CEOs? And some of the reply which I receive, sir, the life works in its own mysteries and regrets. Make sure that when you complete this program after 2 years, and when you enter the corporate world, you are not surrounded by any mysteries or regrets. Make note of it. See, many students after 2 years, they will regret a lot of things. But make sure that you plan your journey, learning journey in such a way that you will never have any regrets after the 2 years, but all the successful achievements. And when you leave after 2 years, make sure that you leave with lasting bonds, relationships with your professors and with your class fellows. They are going to be your best buddies throughout your life in future. Play hard when you play, prepare hard when you prepare, learn hard when you learn, listen hard when you are in the class, and pave the habit of working hard when you will be at work after 2 years, and with a lot of rigor. This is the time to invest in your career, and you have the lifetime opportunity. Make most of your time. There is no vacation for the next 2 years. Set boundaries, but ensure what you do with those boundaries matters most for your careers. Happy learning and maximizing the cash. Happy following the mission of positive, nurturing the positive power of value creation with integrity mission. Thank you very much, and all the best wishes to you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhatt, for welcoming our students with such an insightful address and interesting anecdotes, including from popular cinema. Okay, now it's time to take a short break. Students, I request everyone to be back at it's about 11 now. I request all of you to be back by 11:15 sharp, okay? There is tea and coffee around all the 3 sides. When you exit, whichever side you exit from, you will find beverages. But please try and be back by 11:15 sharp. Form queues when you're trying to get your beverage. That will fasten the process. Thank you. See you soon.